Yo, what's up? What's up?
Hey, we're back. Flea and Cecy with Life, Lust, and Lifestyle.
Oh,
with Flea and Cecy.
Yeah. I want to say you've been tongue twisted
That's
last
part of our
episode.
title. So today we are talking about relationship musts for a successful lifestyle.
Okay.
Right? So basically the characteristics of a healthy relationship to build, like, to so that you could have the fun.
Okay, so it's gonna be based
and
off
the benefits.
It's gonna be based off of us, though, right? It's
not like our experiences. We're not experts.
We're experts, but we're not doctors.
Yeah, common sense.
Okay.
But a lot of it is learned. A lot of it is what we've learned.
Yes, definitely. That's what we're here to do, is to share. It's to share in order for others to grow.
And let's just talk about the relationships. So people come to the lifestyle for different reasons. Everyone has their own personal journey. But I think that across the board, in order for a relationship to thrive in the lifestyle, we gotta first, we have to strengthen our unit, right?
Okay, so some basic.
There's some basic must-haves in a relationship, in order for it to thrive. And it may not be something that you come into it right away. Again, this is a learning experience for people. Something that you can work on along the way. You know what I'm saying? Daily. Yes. But I would say compatibility is something that is a natural thing, right? I think that compatibility is kind of where it starts, because now you able to talk. If you could have a good talking relationship, that you can talk about everything that you're experiencing. Right. So
most married couples should be at the point where they're able to talk openly with each other.
Correct. Okay. And so there's the compatibility aspect of it, but then the love, right?
Okay.
If you're using it to rekindle your love, this isn't the space.
No. It's not the space that you're trying to rekindle.
No.
This is the space to enhance, spice it up.
Exactly. Okay. Live your true, authentic selves and lives, right? So love has to be genuine, authentic, and unconditional. That's just what love is in general, right?
Okay.
And we're not just talking about married couples. If you're entering into this lifestyle as a couple, these are some of the foundations that you need to have in order for it to not, ruin your lives.
All right. So I love you.
I love you too.
All right.
Okay.
Now a kiss.
Yes. So we've been 10 years monogamous before we got into the lifestyle.
Yeah, I would say that. And then 20 plus years prior to that.
And I'll tell you that because I felt that I knew my husband, and that I felt that our bond was, what do you call that?
Airtight?
Airtight.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good word. That we were equipped to be able to enter into lifestyle activities.
Together, yes.
But as we started to engage, what we thought we knew about our relationship completely changed and redefined our relationship.
Yeah, because when you bring other people into your relationship, it opens that Pandora box.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't know what I know now.
When you're involving people outside of your primary relationship, it's definitely going to stir up some things. So what are some things that what are some ways that we have to be in order to move forward? What are some characteristics in your relationship that you feel are important?
Well, for us, it's been open and honesty. Be it fantasy or be it reality, it's just being open about what our wants and what our needs are. You know what I'm saying? Just because I want it don't mean I'm going to get it, but I'm letting you know that's what I want. And you have the option to help provide it or give it or deny it.
Have you always been clear about what you want?
I would say in the beginning, no, because coming from a monogamous relationships, you don't want to really tip off how you feel about someone else, or someone else looks more gorgeous or this, whatever, whatever. So you wouldn't even bring it up. But bringing it up, it wasn't easy. It hasn't been easy. It's only gotten better over time, just due to the fact that that's Dion. That's Flea. You know all my fantasies. You know all my dreams. If somebody walked by, if I would be interested in that person just by what we talk about, right? So, just being open, being honest, is key.
Well, I'm going to say that in the beginning, I mean, I knew that's part of who you are. Your personality is that you have like this deep attraction for women. You like to express your attraction for women, right? I did have a problem early in our monogamous relationship about, being so open about it, especially in front of me. To me, it was a respect factor, right? So, you know, sometimes openly expression of your attraction to others can lead to insecurities in your spouse or your mate, right? um a lot of times I have to remind myself of my husband's personality because he was like this from day one. So it's not like he changed when the lifestyle came into our lives. He's always been who he is, right?
Yeah.
But now that we've brought a different element in how we engage in the flirtation and things get a little bit more sexy.
Sexy, yeah.
A little more forward.
A little more forward.
So, there has to be an adjustment of emotions and communication again.
Yeah, and just because I'm open like that doesn't mean that I take advantage of it. I do take in consideration your feelings because you do express back to me what you didn't like, what you did like, which was cool, what you wasn't cool. And so sometimes I do have to pull back on I'm not overly sexual to the other person. I'm more talkative. You know what I'm saying? I will shoot my shot.
Well, let's talk about the communication. So one of the other traits you have to have is to be able to create a safe space. And it hasn't always been that for Flea and I.
No.
Egos play a big part. You don't want to be wrong. You know what I'm saying? Always want to be right.
Hey, listen. I'm not always right, but I'm never wrong.
But the safe space, yes. Because sometimes we don't hear the other person when we're upset.
Right.
When we're hurt, when we're angry, we don't even hear what the other person has to say. We only know what we want to express, right? I've been hurt. I feel disrespected. I'm not happy. You should have did this. You shouldn't have did that. You know what I'm saying? It becomes very defensive.
But how do we get to that point, though? What's the trigger word for us to be in a safe place?
Well, we always say transparency.
Yeah, that's
we say transparency if we know it's going to be a deep topic of conversation.
Yes.
Then the other person has to kind of sit back and listen.
Yeah, because transparency, like, okay.
And listen for understanding. And sometimes just listen for support, even.
Yeah.
Not for criticism, not for judgment, and definitely not for lashing out.
Right.
Right? So the safe space is very important. Okay. And another aspect would be respecting how the person feels about something.
Yes.
Just because it's not the same view, just because we don't see eye to eye on a person,
a place,
an activity, whatever.
Event, yeah.
We have to respect the other person's because it's their own individualized feeling about something or opinion about something, right? I don't like this particular act. I don't like when you walk up and kiss a woman's shoulder. Okay?
Guilty.
That's just an example.
I just don't go up there and kiss.
I'm not that petty, but you know what I'm saying. It's just an example of I can express my dislike for something that you like.
Yes, you can.
You can be defensive. You could be justifiable.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, you have to respect. Those are my feelings.
True that.
As long as you can acknowledge that's how I feel, and then we can maybe come to a resolution of how I won't feel that way in the future. Cool. Or maybe you can explain to me where I can be a little more understanding and sympathetic as opposed to being so reactional in a negative way, right?
Right, definitely. And we definitely worked on those things. Like I said,
Yes.
it wasn't the first time that something has come up
Mm-hmm.
that we disliked of behavior or whatever from each other,
Mm-hmm.
right? But it was us being adults and mature enough to be able to go and talk about it and using transparency as a situation to say, hey,
Right.
I'm not here to argue. I'm not here to make you mad or upset per se, right? But I'm expressing these things
Mm-hmm.
and I want you to take them in.
And respect is not just about respecting their opinions and their feelings, but respect is your own behaviors,
Mm-hmm.
respecting how you think it would affect your partner, you know,
Right.
respecting that. You know, I know this really bothers her. You know, I'm going to be mindful
Well,
of it.
yes, it's been some very mindful events.
It's tough.
It is tough. It's not easy.
I mean, we're talking about it like it's rolling off of our tongue, but we've had some really deep incidences where, you know, we've crossed those boundaries, those lines. You know,
Right.
the respect. We had to demand it back,
Yeah.
kind of. You know what I'm
From
saying?
others, you're saying, or
From each other, from others,
others.
or whatever the
Okay.
case may be. Because at the end of the day, we're the unit. We're the couple.
We're the couple. All right.
We're the ones who, you know, we make it or break it in the lifestyle. Nobody can do it for us, right?
Yeah. Each individual is definitely an individual, an
Right.
individual couple thing to come through.
And then the trust. The trust is hard for me. I love my husband. Don't get me wrong. I do trust him. I do trust him with my life.
Yeah.
Okay. But sometimes actions may be
louder than words.
That is true, but I didn't mean it to be that way. It could be the perception could be wrong.
And we've been wrong. We've been wrong.
I could react to something that you really intentionally was not meaning to make me upset about.
Or wasn't doing.
It could be.
Can I use an example for that one?
Sure.
Okay. we were at a party.
Mm-hmm.
And I was dancing with this young lady.
Mm-hmm.
But we were talking about you.
Okay.
And it was intimate because it was like a slow dance and we were rocking together. You thought I was kissing her, and I wasn't. I was just bending down and talking in her ear.
Mm-hmm.
And you perceived that as me, like, are you really doing it on the dance floor without even talking and consulting with me? And I'm like, no, baby, nothing happened. And then you wind up talking to the young lady, and she gave you the same story I gave you. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So perception from a distance looked one way, but the reality was we were talking, and we were talking about you.
It's the fact that I trust him.
Mm-hmm.
So when I see something out of character in my mind,
mm-hmm.
that draws an emotion, right? Because I'm like, he should know better. He should know better.
True that.
You know,
and he do know better.
But sometimes once you've had too much to drink and things like that, sometimes you act outside of character. Not you specifically, but people in general.
Yes, I got you.
So, you might be, he feeling himself, look at him over there, showing out a little bit, you know what I mean?
Right.
But it's trusting. Mm-hmm. And he knows I'm in the pic. He's know I'm there. That he would never do anything to disrespect me in public. Correct.
Exactly.
But it is us sometimes having the conversations even before we walk in the door.
Yes.
Right.
As a reminder.
What's the agenda? Are we open to play? Are we sticking together? Are
we looking for solo situations?
So if something comes up, is it pineapples? We have to set that expectation going into the event, so we don't have a disaster coming out of the
Even though we're a free flowing couple, meaning that we don't design from doorstep to bedroom back home.
No.
But we do talk a little bit, but once we get into the party, it's like, what do we feel? Who are we feeling? Who are we reacting to? And then we bring it back to the table during the party, and then we disperse and do what we did.
Right. Okay. Right.
But yeah, definitely trusting is one aspect, because I have to in turn trust you, because I know there's a lot of eyeballs and people looking at you in a particular tone, right? Because you sexy in the mud.
And I'm telling you, the mentality, every couple is different. So the mentality of people we're all adults. Right. We should all be accountable for our own actions, and we really, really should, right? But when you're dealing with a unit, a couple situation, there is an accountability to one another,
Yes.
not just to yourself in your own actions, but I'm accountable to you, you're accountable to me, right?
Yes.
And that's
Yes.
how the trust is built,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
And then when the trust is broken, what about the forgiveness aspect of?
Definitely needs to be some level of forgiveness. It might take time. You know, if you're heartbroken, you're heartbroken. And sometimes you have to take some time away or some space just to kind of sort your feelings out. But you can come back to the table and have an intelligent, mature
Definitely.
conversation about it. And that's usually what happens. And sometimes it could be after a day of blowing up. It could be after a day of silence. It could be after a night of sleeping on the couch. But at some point,
I'm not sleeping on no couch. I just have to turn my back to you.
at some point, you know, you'll come to the realization of we can work this out. We can talk about it. I just need a safe space that I can really dump.
The information.
Yeah.
Yeah, and express. Yes, yes. Sometimes rant.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes yell.
Mm-hmm.
I got you.
Yep. And then sometimes you just want patience and understanding. It even ain't even about really explaining yourself, because sometimes you just dig a deeper hole when you try to explain yourself. Sometimes it's just, you know, you're going nowhere fast with that conversation with me. You know, if you're not addressing my needs at that moment, my emotions at that moment, you know what I'm saying?
Right. And it's difficult as a man because we're raised to be non-emotional creatures. You know what I'm saying? We're barbaric in our actions. It either hurts or it don't hurt. We don't have no emotions between that, right?
Right.
So you have to find that. I know I've had to find that in me to be able to cater to your needs, because I'm not always the one who wants to cuddle you and put you on my shoulder and pat you on the back, because that's a love that I didn't receive growing up. So it's hard to do something that you never done before. Even though you know it's needed, it's just like you feel funny sometimes. Right?
Yeah, but believe your partner when they express that. You know,
Yeah,
believe
that's
them when they say,
for sure.
you know. And then there could be other triggers that have brought up that emotion, not necessarily pertaining to your actions as the partner, but maybe something in the past from a previous relationship. A lot of the times those things resurface as triggers, and we have to recognize that not only as the person having the triggers, but the person who's on the receiving end of the trigger sometimes needs to, like, you know, oh yeah, I remember this was a bad look back then, you know. And and apologize where apologies need to be made, you know what I'm saying? Like sometimes we just have so much pride
be getting in the way, for sure,
that we can't ever say when we're wrong.
But you know what? We've lived life so long that everything is not perfect. And when you talk about triggers, we don't know what's going to trigger your mate. You know what I'm saying?
No,
we
not
really
always.
don't. Not always. But if you know, there's a lot of people in the lifestyle that think the lifestyle is the fixture of all fixes.
I don't know why.
Because we have a good time. You know what I'm saying? They just relate it to just having a good time. But they don't realize that there's a lot of triggers. You can see somebody that look like your ex. You can hear somebody that sound like your ex. You can, you know, or bring back memories and stuff like that that reflects on your current partner. I know in some cases I felt that way, that I'm reaping the non benefits of the prior situation. You know what I'm saying? And I have to take it in and say, you know what? It's not me. That was another situation, but I'm just the reflection of that situation happening.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I have to come to that understanding, not just get mad at you like, oh, you just trying to hate me. But I got to realize what you've come through before you came with me.
Yes.
Right?
Sometimes you do.
But then it comes to the last item, you know, in being a couple in the lifestyle. I have to be happy for you for whatever your wants and needs are.
It is
and what's the word? Compersion?
Journey. Yeah.
Is it a compersion?
Compersion.
Okay.
So compersion is when you're happy to see your mate happy. You genuinely enjoy in their enjoyment. That is what compersion is.
Right.
And sometimes it's hard because their enjoyment, you feel left out, you feel alienated, you feel ignored. I mean, there's a lot of things that the person on the other end is receiving. I always say, I like being inclusive. Right. So even if I'm not a part of the physical experience, I like to be inclusive. I like to be part of the conversation sometimes.
And the planning.
And the planning.
Right.
and just in the know what's going to happen, how's it going to take place, and that way I work up in my mind, this is my safeguard. This is not everybody's safeguard. Some people don't even want to know nothing. They don't want to know none
Yeah.
of the details.
But with us, it's
What,
like,
I don't want to hear it. Do you, whatever works for you, I'm saying there's no right or wrong. This is just, I'm talking from my own personal.
in us, because we indulge in our experiences when we're not together. I mean, we've made situations where we FaceTime the experience, where you're on one side, I'm on the other side doing what I'm doing, and you were watching, you know.
And these are moves that are not like something that makes people feel comfortable.
Right.
This is outside of the ordinary, but we're living an extraordinary lifestyle.
Yes.
We go through, a lot of people are like, how can you do that? That's nasty, right? There's so many diseases, this, that, and the other. And I feel that because we're in the lifestyle, we're way more careful than people who are just casual.
Definitely.
Right? We take more precautions. We have more safeguards. So when people want to knock our decision to be swingers or whatever, they're not realizing the lack of education.
Yeah. They just seen a buck wild orgy, and that's what it is.
And sometimes it is.
It gets there. Yeah, it gets there. It gets there. But it's steps. You know what I'm saying? It's steps and the education aspect of it, getting to know the other people, what they're involved in, things of that nature as well. So yeah.
But we already struggle as Black people in relationships. You know what I'm saying? Because we have, what do you call it, egos.
Yes.
We don't like to be told what to do a lot of the time.
How we were raised, some of us are churchgoers and things of that nature, so we don't want to be judged from outside because what we're doing is sinful.
That's true.
In the eye of the beholder up there, right?
And we're less trusting.
Yes,
definitely. As a culture of
each
our
other.
Own people.
Yes.
So when it comes to your mate, again, it's work in progress. I mean, I wouldn't even put it past coaching or counseling, because there are options for coaching and counseling, and there are people who specialize in the lifestyle,
right,
in helping with coping.
But that's where pride and ego comes in. I'm too prideful to go talk to somebody about my problems or our problems or things of that nature, right?
But people can relate. When you're in a church, you go to different types of groups, right? Learning experiences. Even within the lifestyle, we have a men's talk and a women's talk,
right?
Because we feel it's needed. Because there isn't one open, welcoming forum that people can come and just lay their questions and everything on the table, and it be a healing.
Okay.
So that's one thing that sets us apart with Hidden Gems, is that we have a passion for that healthy relationship, building those connections, knowing how to navigate those couple, everything that happens with everyday couples, and navigating in this lifestyle, because it's hard enough just being a couple.
Yeah.
And then to add the element of being in the lifestyle or being a swinger or a third party or whatever, it takes some pretty tough skin.
Okay, well, before we wrap up, could you give me an example when you had the most compersion moment with me? And I can say my compersion moment with you.
Oh my goodness.
I know.
I don't like that part.
You don't like that part?
Well, compersion's been hard for me. Okay. Because that's where I have a hard time, because I do want my husband to experience and be free and have friends and do all of the good things. But I struggle with my triggers, my emotions, my jealousies. So even in my jealousy, I have to look at it as, why would I say no? I don't say, why would I say yes? I always ask myself, why would I say no? Because to me, the red flags are more important to me than, all the yeses would be, oh, so he would have a good time. Right. He would have, his fantasy met, or those are all the reasons I would say yes. and then he's gonna come back to me, and it's gonna be on and popping because we love the reconnect, right? So those are the reasons I would say yes. But the reasons why you would say no, are they important enough for it not to happen?
Correct.
And there could be any certain reasons of no, but it can't. It shouldn't be.
No,
no. I don't like the way she dresses,
right.
Or or if it's just based on my emotions alone, that could just be just false emotion.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, ma'am. But I had my
moment
with
Go ahead. Tell me about your conversion.
Are you ready? All right.
This will be new for me too.
No, because I gave her a high five after it was over with.
Okay.
Okay. I know you're probably going through here like which one. Well, anyway, it was the time that we were at a party. I was able to play with a friend of ours. You had made a suggestion that I can go play. We had met a couple prior to, as we were talking. And I didn't know that it was going to go down with that particular couple, right? But apparently I left to go in the room. You were out dancing and you were with the husband and you guys hit it off. Mm-hmm. And so when I came out the room, the wife came to me like, "Are you looking for your wife? You looking for her?" I'm like, yeah, where's she at? She's like, "Oh, she's with my husband over here." I'm like, "Oh, really? For real? Right?" And when you came out, I think I gave you a hug and a high five because you took the initiative to get yours that night. You know what I'm saying?
Well, he knows I've struggled.
Yeah.
I've struggled with my comfortability of meeting people and shooting my shot, or even when people shoot their shot, I'm shy. Mm-hmm. I'm more experience helps me with that. But at that time,
it's not that you turn them down. It's just that you don't take it to the next level. You don't feed into the flirtation situation.
Not easily.
That's what I'm saying. That people and they tend to give up. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't get her. You know what I'm saying?
But I was vibing with this one person, and I felt it, and the wife was really like pitching him to me, wanting me to have an experience with her husband, and so he was just happy that I took the initiative, even though he was not available to really consult with.
Right,
he was already in his situation,
doing my thing.
So I guess that could be an example of conversion.
Yeah, I was happy for your high five you, and then we.
He is happy for my great experience.
Yes, I have. I mean, there's other experiences I can bring upon, but we got to wrap the show up.
Yeah.
And if you want to know more about it, hey, just DM.
But we'd like to hear your feedback as well.
Yeah, definitely.
And one thing before we wrap is just make sure you subscribe, like, and comment.
Yeah.
I forget to say that on every episode, but that's part of growing our
base,
our brand,
our fan base, and our show. So with that being said, toast, and you can go ahead and tell us.
That's us, Flea and Cecy, with Life Less Than Lifestyle.